Hey, it is Nurse Tanya. I am having some seriously frustrating technical difficulties. Gosh, I feel terrible. I had sent out a text message letting people know I was going to be on and gave them a link at 7. Here it is, almost quarter after 7. My link doesn't work. So, shoot. I will be recording this and I'll keep it on YouTube. I won't keep it up on Facebook, but I am live right now across a few platforms. Hopefully, somebody will find me. I guess I'm a nurse. I'm not an IT guy, and things just don't always go smoothly. So it's May already, and I've been really trying to get organized and do these monthly group coaching meetings to kind of keep track of everybody. I keep things running smoothly, keeping questions answered, and it is it's a little bit of a challenge. Um I'm just going to go over just kind of general things that you may or may not already be aware of. Going to remind you of a few tools, things that you could be using in your program. So, the subject tonight is parasites. Parasites. Like they're like the new black, right? If you're on social media at all, everybody is talking about parasites. So, like things to consider is who has parasites, we all say if you have a pulse, you have parasites. And then the question is, to what extent do you have parasites? Um, the When it really comes down to it is how good a host are you? So some people like myself, I was like seriously plagued with the things. So what made my body such a good host? That my friend, is the question of the day, is the root cause. So we do a lot, you'll hear me talking about root cause. Well, kind of parasites are a root cause, but then they're not a root cause because, not everybody has them. And the root cause to the parasite root cause is, again, what makes you a good host, and it is a compromised immune system. Is That's always the root of the root. I see a few people have jumped on. That's awesome. I am not that organized about comments, but I'm gonna try. Like, help me be better at this whole web hosting thing. So if you are with me from somewhere, let me know. Post a comment if you are currently working with me and part of my group coaching, or a client. Then definitely give me a shout out. If you've got any questions, I will try to look at the comments as I'm going through. Say, oh, the theme of the evening is technical difficulties. No, it's not. It's parasites. Parasites. Why do we have them? Well, one, some people will be like, well, don't we need parasites? Like, they're part of us. We don't technically need them, but they did get there because they had a job to do. Your body kind of had a purpose for them. They do mop up toxins. So your toxic load is what makes you a good host for those parasites. You got to have toxins, or you don't make a good host. Um, Parasites are the host of the host. Like, parasites hold old viruses in your body. Like, a lot of us have got Epstein-Barr, different herpes, different shingles, um, even West Nile, COVID, all those things, all these old viruses, they really can't affect our body if there isn't already some other root problems. Like, even there, the virus isn't the root problem, right? So parasites they hold those old viruses in our body. They store heavy metals in our body. So, like, all of that really comes at a big cost. We have those toxin things going on. Then perhaps we had a stomach acid issue. So then those parasites that entered our mouth didn't get killed, and they made it into the rest of our body. What do parasites do? They steal nutrition. They kill, steal, and destroy. They mess with our neurotransmitters, like, in our gut. They still are good stuff. They still are serotonin, and they can distort behavior, distort your mood because they are stealing from those neurotransmitters, right? They ruin your sleep, that tossing and turning, that like 3 o'clock witching hour. If you're waking up around 3 o'clock, like that's a thing. Those parasites really get to moving and grooving during the night, and they ruin our sleep. They kind of go up and down with that serotonin and that melatonin balance, and can be a huge, huge root cause to your sleep disorders. Um, they create food intolerances. So that whole leaky gut thing, root cause of your leaky gut, that can be a parasite for sure, a big parasite problem. So if you've done food sensitivity testing and you like had a big list of food sensitivities, there's a good chance you have got a parasite problem. Parasites, they destroy your digestion. The bulk of them do wanna live kinda in that digestion and those drainage areas, but they can live in your joints, like a lot of arthritis, parasites. They can live in your brain, brain fog, tumors, cancers, parasite. They can live in your muscle tissues, like those fibromyalgia type pains. I just was reading a study not that long ago, a few days ago, about the link between MS and it being parasite many, many times, and it's parasite eggs on that myelin sheath. Like, how disgusting is that? And it's terrible. It's all terrible. But the good part about it is parasite issues can be remedied. Like, this is something that we can take control of. This is something that we can do something about. So I like the sounds of that. I like the sounds of I can do something about this, not just I have to live with this diagnosis or this disease or whatever it is. So no matter where you're at in life, whatever your diagnosis is, whatever your disease is, this conversation is worth having. It is worth checking into. So, um, yeah, at Awaken Wellness, that is why my business is called Awakened Wellness, because when you get awakened to these things, these root causes, and these other reasons that you could be sick, like it's like changing religions. As a nurse, as an RN, I consider myself divorced from mainstream medical, and it was my own health problems that got me where I'm at today, got me researching and digging in. I just wasn't I was going downhill fast with things like fibromyalgia and Hashimoto's, autoimmune disease, um, herniated discs in my back and in my neck, and just pain, 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 all day, every day pain. And I didn't want to go on medications. I didn't want to go on mood altering medications. So something had to change. I had to do something different. And oh man, talk about rabbit holes when you start to dig into um the just the stuff, what we've been told, what we've been programmed, and unprogramming some of those things. So, all back on track. Sorry. But my story, it's just part of everything I do. I can't get away from it. And I'd love to hear your story. If you're live, make some comments. If you're on replay somewhere, let me know. I am always willing to help a person out. I have room for new clients right now. There will come a day when I don't, and maybe I'll have some of those handy online protocols in play and just be helping the masses. So, but in the here and now, this is where we're at. Parasites. Where are you at? Like, what have you done? Like I say, the whole parasite cleanse thing is like the new black. If you're on TikTok or social media or anything, everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. And part of it makes me kind of nervous because Oh, I mean, I tried a lot of stuff too, and all products are not the same, and you can just end up in a bigger mess than what you already have going on. Um, I had, it was probably, shoot, at least 5 or 6 years ago, I had gone to a, holistic practitioner, and I did a 6-week parasite cleanse, and at that time, it was some harsh product that just burnt my belly. I had so much heartburn problems anyway, and I had almost gotten that resolved, and then those products just ripped my gut up and took so long to heal from. And way back then, I definitely thought that protocol helped my bladder. I didn't really notice it help anywhere else, but now, knowing what I know now, like back then I didn't do any maintenance. So like that maintenance is so important in your parasite journey because those parasites do nasty things like those eggs, like you got to stay on top of them. Like you can't I mean, it's a those cycles and they cycle and cycle and cycle. So I would venture to guess probably when I did that cleanse those years ago, I probably ended up making the parasite infestation worse because I didn't know enough to do some maintenance and clean those eggs. So that is super unfortunate. Let me see. I better look at my notes here. Yeah, our trial and error, though, that's all part of our story. No matter who you are or what you've done, that's what has got you to the point that you're at now. And we learn from our own mistakes and we learn from our lessons. And not that all of it that we do to get to where we're at right now, it's not all mistakes. You know, part of it had good outcomes here or there. The people we met, the things we do, but all in all, we have to get to back to the basics, back to a place where we can hear our body again, back to a place where we can tell if we eat something that our body doesn't like. Because for most of us, when we're just a toxic mess, like you can't tell. Every day you just feel crappy. So you have no idea what made you feel crappy. You can't discern between those things. So it's really important that, hopefully a few months into working with me or getting on a program that you are able to kind of start to discern those things again. At the beginning of the program, I always throw out that list of the top 7 inflammatory foods that I would like everybody to stay away from at least for a hard 30 days. And it gets your inflammation down in your gut, but in the rest of your body. These parasites, we can only have these parasites going on if our immune system is compromised. If our immune system is up to par and doing what it should be doing, then the parasites, viruses, whatever that all that kind of stuff, it's just not a problem. And we've gotten so far away from healthy foods. I mean, that is the root of the root of the root is what we're putting in our mouth, what we're breathing, what we're putting on our skin. Like it all matters. It just all matters. I can't stress that enough. Fasting is a great tool. It's free. It's not going to get rid of parasites, but it is going to help your body heal. It's going to help other areas of your body. So I know expense is always a concern for everybody, and there is usually a lot of products involved in restoring your health. But there's also some really great free tools that we can chime into. Another awesome tool, if you haven't picked it up yet, is Rife Tones. I've got a couple of apps on my phone. I know one, I'm not using it right now, is a yearly subscription. One is free. You can go on YouTube and find all sorts of rife tones. So our body likes those frequencies. And, then there's that whole rabbit hole of like our radio could be on a frequency that is pleasing to our body, but it's not. No, it's on an annoying frequency. And we all know why, but that's not the subject tonight. But Rife, you could be playing that at night. That is a really good healing frequency. Another thing that you could be doing to help your body heal is to shut off the breaker in your bedroom at night, shut off your Wi-Fi at night. Those EMFs are a big deal. That constant surge of energy going through you, near you, around you, it is a big deal. And those parasites love that energy. It ignites them, it fuels them. So that's another good free thing that you can do is to shut that off. Let me see. I better look at my notes again. Um, oh yeah, chronic health issues. So, chronic health issues, it's a big deal. It is everybody who isn't affected by chronic health issues. Um, if you have chronic health issues, yeah, I mean, it's pretty safe to say you've got some parasites. If you have problems detoxing, like if you've got methylation issues, or in the past, if you've known that you have problems detoxing, how do you know that? One of the obvious signs is your skin. So, your skin is an excretory organ, and your body is going to pick the area of least resistance. So, like if you've got constipation issues, or methylation issues, or lymph issues, a lot of times you're going to have skin issues. And it's just that your body is trying to get toxins out of you. So, skin issues are a huge red flag that you have got definitely other gut issues, and more than likely parasite, yeast, mold, other type issues. Um, like I said, parasites hold on to toxins in your body. So they're kind of like little live spongy things. A lot of programs that people go on, just haphazardly buying products. What scares me about them is like, and this is my explanation that I use a lot. Like when you start just hunting and killing parasites in your body and your system is not ready, your organs of elimination are not ready. It's oh, you just make such a big mess in your body, and your immune system's already compromised if you're a good host for parasites. So it's like taking a big old bowl of pudding and just splatting it on your kitchen floor. And then it's your immune system that has to come in and clean all that up. So, um, like those parasites, they have got an enzyme type reaction that happens when they die, and they kind of like auto destruct and start to break themselves down. So there's that mess, but then there's the mess, like I was saying, they're full of toxins and mold and viruses. So they're already full of other gross stuff. And when you just are killing them and splatting them, and you're expecting a compromised immune system to clean them up, like that's hard. That's really hard on your body. And rough things can happen. Even with Cellcore's products, they're generally pretty gentle, but I have had quite a few people that can't tolerate them. Their symptoms just get way worse. And that's because they're fragile like that. And that's even in that first month. We never start killing parasites in the first month, sometimes not even the first 2 months, because we're just going to focus on opening drainage and getting your mitochondrial health better. Like if your body has no cellular energy, it is super, super hard for it to clean up this mess that we're going to create when we start killing things. Like, just quickly, mitochondria, they have two jobs. They can do two things. They're either stimulating energy, cellular energy, or they're fighting pathogens. So if you have no energy, like chronic fatigue, and you're really struggling with that energy levels, then there's a good chance your mitochondria is over on had to revert to the immune system to help out with those pathogens. So we have to try to get your body with a little bit better cellular energy in order to get this job done. So we spend some time preparing the immune system, preparing the body for the work to come. It just makes everything different. It makes the picture completely different, and this is true whether you're a chronically sick person or you're a basically healthy person or you think you're healthy. Like, what we think is healthy is, sometimes kinda surprising. Um, but we like to do that jump start no matter where you're at, just to make sure things are good and moving before we ask any more of your fragile system. So, um, back to my notes. Let's see. Um, 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 um. Yeah, no matter where you're starting out, no matter how sick or how healthy you are, no matter how old you are, you can always benefit by cleaning up your compost pile. Um, if you know me, you know that I talk a lot about our compost pile. Our body is our garden. What we put into it, what we eat, what we our diet, our exercise, our herbs, our supplements, they're all organic seeds that we're planting in this body. So we want that soil to be good. So the good things that we bring into our body will grow health, right? So they're not age specific. Anybody can benefit from a yearly compost pile clean up and refertilize before you replant in the spring, right? Even if you're a gardener, you know that from year to year, these it's maintenance. Things have to be maintained. Toxins is such a big thing. No matter where you're at, if you've started this process or you haven't, you have to come to the realization that what you eat matters, what you breathe matters, and what you put on your skin matters. We have to get away from all these chemicals. You have to get away from fragrances, even your scented candles, your scented bath and body products, all of those things. It all matters. That toxic burden, it matters, it matters, it matters. We have been so programmed in the past as Americans. Oh gosh, these smells and car fresheners and everything that we use, they are making us sick. They are making us good ground for parasitic infestation. End of discussion. Let's see. Yes, I love that quote that in order to restore the body, one, we have to remove what was not of the Lord's design, the toxins, the parasites, all that stuff, and replenish what is missing. And what is missing is real food. And I know it's hard. I know because of our farming practices and the soil is depleted. I know it's hard. I think even if you were doing a stellar job at this, you would still probably need some supplementation. And especially trying to gain ground with a parasite infestation because that is the main thing that those parasites are doing is stealing your nutrition. They're stealing your salt, your potassium, your sodium, your iron, your B vitamins. They're stealing it all. So not only are we having a hard time getting what we need in our food, we're having a hard time keeping it because the parasites are stealing it from us. So it is a big deal. It really is. And we just need to remember the root of the root. The parasite isn't really the root. Those roots are those other things that you're going to have to look at. Can we heal what comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? So heal the gut or clear the parasites. What's the first step? What would you say is the first step? For me, I tried healing the gut first because I didn't know about the parasites. And I'm going to tell you, it was really expensive and it didn't work. So we've got to get the parasites before we can heal the gut. Yes, they kind of intermix, they kind of go hand in hand, but we have got to get those big, bulky parasites first, the ones that are chomping on your mucosal lining in your intestine. Those have got to go before we can fix anything. So, increase the stomach acid for sure is step one. You just cheap, easy apple cider vinegar, get your big girl panties on, start using it, right? Yeah, I can sell you pills, I can sell you betaine, I can sell you freeze-dried apple cider vinegar, but that's just another pill in your box and another expense. Just be a big girl and drink the apple cider vinegar. Dilute it a little bit, do a shot. You'll get used to it. Dilute it in your full water bottle and just start getting used to that vinegary taste or however you want to do it. For me, I like to just put the shot in my mouth and then chase it right back with water. That's what works for me. Let's see. Compost pile, drainage. We've always got to be working on the drainage. And a lot of times, even like when you're like 4 months or so into your parasite kill program, like you're killing so much stuff and you're pushing so much stuff through your drainage that sometimes we kind of have to put that on pause and back up and readdress the drainage. How do we know that that's going on? A lot of times it's the scale. It's good to use the scale. We're not trying to lose weight in these phases. Some people do, just inadvertently, but we like to use the scale just so we kind of know what's going on. If you're at any stage of the game and you're all of a sudden you're up like 5 pounds and you feel puffy and you feel yucky, then more than likely we have got a little plug up in your bile, in your gallbladder, in your liver, in your lymph system, and we just kind of need to pause a little bit on that parasite kill and get the lymph and get the drainage going. Like we call it a 444 protocol. If you're one of my clients and or if you're on a DYI program with me, you will have access. Use your vault. So it's in like the backside of my website. You have access to that. If you're one of my clients, you've been given a code, you've been given a password. Dig through your email and find that vault, and there's like a 444 protocol that is going to help you get through that stage if you've hit that. If you're seeing me monthly, then and it's not time for your appointment, then just text me. You know where to find me, and we'll get you worked through that. We've got to make sure that we don't get your gallbladder plugged up. And it totally happens. It can happen because gallstones, right? They're not really gallstones, they're liver stones that fall out of your liver into your gallbladder. And when we're working on that liver, it can be a thing. We can have to do a gallbladder flush, and we have a great protocol for that. Let's see, 28 minutes. Okay, so protocol: use your Volt. Um, if you're not doing sinus rinses yet, get in your Volt, find the recipes, start doing some sinus rinses. Super, super important. Oral care is so important. The root to the root to the root. We have to have good oral care. I need to get better on that. I've been slacking in that department. I just bought so I have an affiliate link with Therasage. It's Nurse Tanya, and it's always 10% off. I think right now they've got Mother's Day sale going, but I bought a bubbler and then I bought the little dental tool that goes with it. I haven't used it yet. I need to use it, but you use the bubbler and you make a bag of ozone air, and then you really get the ozone and clean your teeth with it. I need to do that. I need on my list of things to do. I have the tools. I need to implement the tools, right? But that oral care is really, really more important than we realize. It can be a huge, huge stressor if you have metal in your mouth that your body's not happy with, old root canals, old like when they pull your wisdom teeth, sometimes there's a little mishap that happens with a little ligament, and that can be a huge root cause and stressor for some people. So all of these things, if I didn't have time to tell you when you were with me one on one, these are in your vault. These are things that you need to be working on in the background as you're cleaning things up, as you're doing your parasite cleanse. Let's see what else. So important, the foundation. Open drainage. I do have some exciting things going on in my practice. I've got this Quest bio energy scanner that I've invested in. And that is going to help open up some tools, especially to some people that had seen me in the past and they couldn't tolerate the Cellcore products. They were too strong. So we can start setting up your energy. We can start setting up your drainage and getting you just mildly moving toxins and get some things moving forward. We can work on emotions. Do emotional detox with that machine. So that is a great and that's a great tool for kids too. There's different products that I will use now because I have this machine that will be like more of a homeopathy type thing. So easier for kids to use, easier for sensitive people to use, and we will use it in combination with the Cellcore products, and I will just be more customizing. We'll have a little bit more variety as we are moving through these protocols. So that is super fun. I've been playing with that and making great progress, getting some great feedback from it. It's all about our bodies and our innate wisdom. There's like I said before, when you're so toxic, you can't hear what your body is trying to communicate anymore. So this machine, this scanner, helps us communicate with our innate intelligence. It's going to tell us the day you come see me for a scan. It's going to tell us what your body wants to take care of now. It's not gonna focus on those deep core issues, it's gonna peel it back, so it's gonna be now, and it's hard because, we want it all, we want it now, we want it fixed right away, and we just always have to remember that it took years and years for us to fall apart, so it's gonna take a little bit, it's gonna take a minute to put it back together. I can do distance scans with this, with, like, a hair sample, a saliva sample, um, I don't really have time, but I could do horses and dogs. There's protocol for that, and there is veterinary products as well. I did do my dog, it was kind of interesting, but, like I say, there's not enough time in the day for all of that. It's the struggle is real. What else? Oh, it's kind of funny, like, the whole stages of the process, like, your parasite process, where are you in these stages? Like, are you still at 0 where you're just kind of desperate and you're in despair and you don't know and you don't think anything is gonna work and, like, you totally just think this is hogwash? Or are you stage 1 where you're kind of curious? You've been hearing on social media and everywhere about this parasite, or like it's just pretty new to your ears and you're like, what is this crazy nurse talking about? Um, or 2, are you enthusiast? Are you like dabbling here and dabbling there and doing this and doing that, but you're never, like, completing anything. The enthusiast kinda like, they've worked with multiple doctors, they've tried multiple protocols, but the main thing that kept any of it from working you, was the enthusiast that never found the bottom of the bottle. Like, you have to have some stick to itiveness to get this thing done. You really have to stick to a program. Um, I mean, I have lots of people that come in, they do a couple months, and then you just don't see them again, and I I get it, there's lots of people like that, always trying something else, or they didn't get, boom, the instant result they thought they shoulda got, so then they just quit. So it's a process, like, it is a process. It's a big process. What else? Oh, The Apprentice. The Apprentice is kind of the person who is always working that problem, and the kind of the do-it-yourselfer where they just need access to the products. And I have an apprentice heart. I really do. It doesn't matter what the subject is I am a do-it-yourselfer. And that's why I offer my do-it-yourself program because I get it. I get that you feel like you have enough education that you should be able to tackle this yourself and you don't want to sit with me for long appointments and you don't want to do this and you don't want to do that. You just want access to the products that you're pretty sure you can use. I've got the perfect thing for that. I have got a web link. You can go to www.diycellcore.com, or if you go on my website, my Awaken Wellness LLC, there is a DIY tab, and I offer this DIY program. And like I kind of have a scary big sign thing on my website that says, well, one, I'll sell you all four phases if you want right off the bat. Or there's a detox protocol. You can buy the whole thing right off the bat. You can buy a jumpstart kit and the full moon protocol on there as well. If you do that, I will send you some little monthly reminders and protocols, kind of what's going on, what you should expect. And you can always set up a consult with me if you get stuck, if you're having problems. So that works out really great. I also on there, like on this big warning, you make everybody sign off, click the button that says you're not pregnant, you're not breastfeeding, you're not under 18 years old. And I specifically say that DYI is not for you if you're on a bunch of medications. It's not for you if you're chronically ill. It is for, pretty much healthy, fit people that are just like, I could use my energy back, or I just feel like there's something I'm missing, or I just feel like I need a boost. Then that foundation, Cellcore Foundation DYI is perfect for you. Is absolutely perfect, and you will get amazing results. I really, really strongly advise anybody, even after they've done that 4 level, to stick with the full moon kit then, and probably do 2 to 4 months after that just to get those eggs, because unless you're like, well, even if you are checking your bowel movements, the majority of it you don't see. The majority of it you're not supposed to see. So, just stick with those egg cycles. It's super important. Stick with those egg cycles. Let's see. What else? Yeah, so many layers to our health, layer by layer by layer, and our habits are a big part of it. We have got to build better habits. We've got to undo unhealthy habits. In this day and age, our world is so flaming toxic between all the satellite, the cell phones, the bad energy, the bad foods, the food dyes, the preservatives, the lack of nutrition in our soils. Like, even if we were really stellar, we still would barely be breaking even. We would barely be breaking even. So, a lot of people are like, how long do I have to do this? Is there maintenance? You don't have to do any of it. But for me, for maintenance, like I'm still, not breaking even. So someday, if I can just keep breaking even, I know it's going to take some BCATP at a minimum and a binder at a minimum to stay breaking even in this toxic world. Because, like, I've been sick, I've been full of inflammation and autoimmune disease, and I don't want to go back. I do not want to go back. Like, I have a very vivid memory of what that was like. Um, the base parasites. Let's see. What does my note mean here? Parasites, where do they come from? They come from the environment. How do you pass them? We pass them to each other for sure. You can cough them, those sticky itchy butt, like that's a sticky mucus that they're putting there so their eggs will stick to it and hoping you'll itch your butt and pass them around, or at least get through your stool and then get out and repopulate wherever it is that they land. Pets, if you have pets in your house, like, there's no way you don't have parasites. If you work on a farm, ranch, like, sorry, like, I know that seems like really bad news, and that seems a little bold to say you have parasites. You have parasites, like, you just do. They affect everything. They affect every system in your body. The nervous system way more than what you realize. Your emotions and your moods, way more than you realize, and especially if you follow that moon cycle. um if you're female, you should follow your cycle, but you should also follow the moon cycle. In other words, just keep a journal of your moods and your emotions, and you will definitely find some patterns. You will those parasites cycle with the moon. They cycle with the earth's rhythm. It is a legit thing. It absolutely is legit. If you've got digestive conditions, the root cause of that, I mean, gluten ain't helping anybody, that's for sure, but it is not the root to the root, or it's not the only root or the only problem. A lot of like craving dairy, craving cheese, like parasites love dairy and cheese. So weird food cravings, especially if you ain't pregnant, are very, very parasite driven, for sure. Um, Arthritis, autoimmune diseases, all of that, sinus issues, allergies, asthma, all, and respiratory parasites, holding lungs, or holding spores, holding mold, all, a chain of events. Um, your joints, your muscles. Uh, I will boldly say that I believe everything in me that, like, your degenerative disc disease, especially in your lower back, like, we're not supposed to be decomposing as young people. Well, it's an inflammatory issue. It's a leaky gut issue. That stuff is literally leaking into your peritoneal cavity. It's literally, you're too acidic, and you're degenerating your bone. Like, we have got to take care of these things. It's a big thing. Um, Stages, denial, like, yeah, of course, denial. Bargaining, people are just like, no, I don't want to talk about it. That's gross. I can't look at it. I can't deal with it. There's disgust, like, and then there's the pity party, the no, not me. No, not me. I'm too pretty. I can't have parasites, whatever it is. And then depression, like, how will I fix this? When will it be over? It's a big thing. And then you get to acceptance, and you're starting to feel a little bit better, and you're feeling like you've got control over the problem. And then soon you get freedom, like freedom from sickness and disease. And literally, when these parasites start leaving your body, you can literally feel the realm of death leaving you. Like, it is really hard to describe the spiritual weight, the weight that is like lifted from your shoulders. It is absolutely amazing. But yes, we all have parasites. We share parasites. But like, there again, maybe your whole family isn't sick, just you're sick, or you've all been exposed to mold and you all are exposed to the same viruses, but you're the only one that gets sick. Well, there is something about your immune system that is making you the perfect host. And that's, no matter what we do, yep, we want to get this fixed, but the root of the root of the root is your immune system. Like, we've got to get your immune system back up to where it's just taking care of this stuff and it's not a big deal. And then get the parasites cleared up, get your immune system fixed up, and you don't get reinfested, because you can eat a carrot out of the garden and not worry about the dirt that was on it because your immune system's got you covered. Like that's what we need to get figured out is that immune system. So I'm going to ramble off some symptoms and conditions that very, very well could be parasite related. Could be your one bulk of your root causes. IBS, IBD, any gut stuff, any um, pain, constipation. Like a lot of times, if you get like a lumpy, kind of bumpy right up under your rib, I was just reading an article about that. More than likely being a nest of parasites in your small intestine. Um, Food issues, intolerances, parasites, cysts, parasites, joints, sinuses, brain fog, um, concentration issues, cancer, sleep, teeth grinding, food cravings, and alcohol cravings. Parasites love sugar and alcohol. Skin issues, histamine intolerances, MCAS, root cause, parasites, iron deficiencies, other nutrient deficiencies, weight gain or weight loss, or the when you can't lose weight, anxiety, depression, all these things are tied up in parasite problems. You really don't know what your diagnosis is until you get rid of the parasites. Like, I don't mind doing a little like hormone support or, things like that when we're doing a parasite cleanse. Sometimes we do, and sometimes people need it. But for the majority of people, it's just so expensive and it's so many pills. Just the parasite and the mitochondrial support and the detox, the binders, like that's enough. Like we definitely can do some other supportive things in the process, but I generally like to kind of bring it down and support a person at the minimum with those things. Like blood sugar, I like to support for sure because that really goes hand in hand. Digestion, we usually give it a couple months and then we bring in the digestive enzymes and the probiotics. We just save that somewhat for a person's pocketbook. And there too, those parasites are just going to use it all up. So we want to get rid of them before we really start working hard on that other stuff. Some of the biggest mistakes that we see with uh, people, why this stuff doesn't work, why you do it and it doesn't work. Um, Sometimes medications get in the way. So, but I can't tell people what to do with their medications. So, so they always know from talking to me that it's up to them and their doctor, but that we're always kind of at battle, like we're trying to heal naturally and get rid of parasites, but then we can't control what medications do, don't do, or what the side effects are, especially with immune disease, autoimmune suppressants, and that kind of thing. It's super, super hard to make any of this come together in the big picture when there's a medication at play suppressing the immune system, which makes you the perfect host for parasites, for Lyme disease, for mold. So it's super, super complicated in some cases. Um, let's see. Again, our root causes. I'm going to rattle them off again. Parasites, molds, industrial chemicals, heavy metals, EMF, nervous system, toxicity, and like that fight or flight, being stuck in fight or flight. Like there too, we usually wait on really addressing that wholeheartedly until a few months of that nervous or a few months of the parasite cleanse has gone by. I do have for my clients, I offer a custom um subscription on my website that helps work on those other tools, especially for your fight or flight, your HPA axis. That's a subscription that anybody is welcome to get on. And it is, I think, 19.99 or $20 or something a month. And in there, I've got a whole bunch of things to help with that HPA access. Usually, if someone is really going to benefit from that, we do have them on some hormone replacement like the DHEA and pregnenolone, and we're really trying to reset that HPA access. Most of the time, it's because they want to lose weight, but it's also, you just feel stressed out and fatigued. That adrenal fatigue is really hard. So that's kind of the extended program. No matter where somebody's at, I like them to do that foundation cleanup at least 4 months, parasite cleanse, whether they think they have them or not, before we really jump in that adrenal fatigue, and just to try to maintain that all. But in that subscription, there's like exercise, diet, the de-stress, like the neuro stuff, the breathing, like all these little tools just right there at your disposal. But you have to use them in order for them to work, which is usually the main roadblock, is habits and putting those good things into your habits. And everybody's just too busy to take care of themselves. That's the root cause right there, is stress and being too busy doing everything else, like watching TV and being on social media and not taking care of yourself. I'm guilty for sure. Some of the hidden deeper blocks that most everybody has to dig into, if you have autoimmune disease, if you have cancer in your background, the deeper blocks are dental issues like subliminal infections or implants, root canals, those kind of things. Even just your fillings, your silver fillings, they can be a huge roadblock and be causing you toxic exposures that your body can't handle. Radioactive elements. A lot of people in my area, when we test for binders, their body's asking for the Virad Chem binder. And we've got so much fracking and stuff like that in our area. Um, I haven't tested our water for it, but you can have radioactive elements pretty commonly in your groundwater, as well as like the radon in your house or those kind of things. So that can be a big deal. But that is kind of a flag for me, is when people are testing first off for that Virad Chem binder. In the normal kind of walkthrough protocol, we're going to do the biotoxin binder first. But especially with my machine now, when we hear what your body's wanting, and if it's asking for that Virad Chem binder first, that means that is a priority to your body. So that's the binder that we go with. I love that about this Quest tool, is that it helps us do what your body wants to do first, rather than just a generic protocol. It's a really, really amazing tool. Plastics are another big hidden thing that people need to deal with and take care of. And especially like if you're still microwaving plastic, come on now. Like the microwave's got to go. Like get an air fryer, like no microwave, bad, bad. And then microwaving styrofoam or plastic, or even those Keurig pods, with you're putting like that boiling water through that plastic, and that's a toxin that you can do without too. So your plastics, I'm still working on baggies, like I like baggies, just to store food and stuff in. But plastics, it is a big deal. I did 86, most of my plastic in the kitchen, and went and, just getting glass as I transition your food, what you cook in, your nonstick stuff or your flaky, that's toxins. Like it all matters. But the huge, huge thing that it's the hardest thing for them to deal with, it's the hardest thing for them to fix, is stress, especially women. super hard to fix that stress. But if you can't figure out how to um, say no and take out some of those things that are stressing you out, it's super hard to restore your health. Trauma, mental, emotional, physical, old traumas, new traumas, history, historical traumas, they can really affect you. Trauma can get trapped in your body, and it is a absolute real thing. Um, and that too is an amazing thing that I can address with my Quest machine. We do an emotional detox. It's super, super cool. We run a scan, and sometimes the people are like hand in hand, like with whatever that thing says is like, oh man, that is spot on. And sometimes it's like, I don't know what that means. We don't have to know what that means. It can be way in your subconscious, it can be way in the past, and we just use the energy to help you work through it. That's all we know. Um, we use the machine. We can go through and verbally like release those things as well. And then we make an imprint for emotional support that you take as long as the scan says. Usually it's 3 to 6 weeks, depending on um, the situation, and then come back and do it again. And a person might have to do that for a year, to start feeling like there's some benefit to it. I had a young gal who's near and dear to me. She got in a wreck with a bull this spring, and we did that emotional scan for her. And the physical thing that it was coming up was gallbladder. She doesn't have any gallbladder issues, but I do believe if she wouldn't clear those emotions from that trauma, she would have gallbladder issues down the road. So, like she says that when she's not using her imprint, she feels more angry. And, because that's one of the huge emotions with an event like that is it changed her spring. There's fear, there's anger, and like she says, she can tell when she doesn't use those drops. So it's a real thing. I'm really, really happy to have that tool. And that's a thing that I do offer to just clients who aren't like on a program, aren't full-fledged. You can just schedule an appointment and we can just do that emotional detox scan. You don't have to do everything. If you just want to start somewhere, you can start with that. It is totally appropriate, and it's a great tool if you're in therapy. It's a great complementary tool to anything else like that you're doing. Do I do labs? I do labs. I love labs. Um, I love to do any labs that my patient feels like they can afford. I don't force anybody to do those labs, especially with my bioengineered testing. We can really get a pretty good feel between that and symptoms of where we should go. And it's kind of, and labs can be super frustrating because like you can do a stool test and it's not more than likely not going to show parasites. It might show like some of the giardia, I think is how you say that, like it's in water or something like that, but it's not gonna like show that you have a big old ropeworm or something like that. It's just not going to. And then a lot of people, they're like, well, they don't think they need a parasite cleanse because, they were negative on their labs. Well, I've done a couple of stool tests and has been negative, and I can guarantee you I was full of parasites, especially those darn liver flukes. They're never going to show up on a lab. And they make your immune system look low. They don't make your immune system look infected. So there's like no good way besides the presence of their energy through muscle testing or through like my Quest machine that you can even really attempt to pinpoint them. And there too, then you can just say it's all make believe, but you'll believe it when you feel better in 4 months for like no other reason. So there's that. Myths, there are a lot of myths. Myths like they should be able to see them on a colonoscopy. They don't. Um, Stool tests are incomplete, so I wrote down a bunch of stuff, but I've been on here for an hour, so we're just not going to get to all of this. If anybody has any questions, they can message me. I'm pretty good at finding comments, but they do get missed. So if you commented and I didn't reply, you didn't hear anything, then I didn't see it. My if you go to my Facebook page, different posts, I think even on my link in bio, my business texting number is there to get a hold of me. If you're already a client, you definitely have access. If you'd like to be a client, I'd love to help you out. There's nothing I would enjoy more than helping you get better. It is my passion. It motivates me every day. I'm having so much fun at my new shop. I've been there for 2 months now, downtown in Sydney, Montana, and I love my open hours when people can just walk in and have a conversation with me, and it's just the best. It's going so well. I just can't wait to see what keeps walking through my door and what becomes the future. Let's see. Was there anything else I really needed to tell you before I get off of here? I love referrals. If you're already my client and somebody name drops you, somebody new comes in and name drops you, I always have some kind of free gift for you for referrals. I love, love, love referrals. I've got fun things going on in the office. I do foot baths. Those are so fun on that walk-in basis. They've gotten really busy. People just walk in, visit while you're doing a foot bath. My IV, I do vitamin drip IVs, and that you can do too during my walk-in hours. Some days I get to juggling quite a bit, but I like it. I love being busy, and it's a semi-private atmosphere, so we get some great conversations going. It's just so much fun. I also do like medical grade PEMF and red light sessions. So as we're detoxing, as we're healing, those are all great healing modalities. The red light, the PF are so good for your mitochondria. And those are things that you can do. You don't have to be on one of my programs to take advantage of those. Those are open to the public as long as you don't have a pacemaker, then or a implanted like insulin pump or something. They can be hard on the batteries, but or pregnant or breastfeeding. Sorry, you guys don't get to do any of that fun stuff either. What else should I say? Oh, if you are enrolled with me, make sure you're using your Vault. Make sure you're logging into that back end of my website and you are taking advantage of the education listed there. I know during our appointments we never have time to get everything said. So make sure you're using that Vault and doing all those fun stuff. I have castor oil packs in stock. Well, I'm out of stock again, but I'll have them this week. I have been having such good personal results with the castor oil, and so are my clients. So my favorite way to use that so far, and there too, you don't have to be a Cellcore client. I'll sell you some bowel mover with your castor oil. Take 2 bowel movers before bed, put on your castor oil pack. I have been doing my liver. Sometimes I do my adrenal glands, my kidneys, and then these last I've been doing this blue stuff, right? And that has been messing with my bladder at night. It's like I can't sleep. I got to get up and pee and get up and pee. I know, more parasites. So I did the castor oil pack over my bladder, and that helped calm that down too. So those castor oil packs are so versatile. The results I've been seeing are I'm not sure, but I think it's like cholesterol flakes that in your liver, like your body takes cholesterol and wraps toxins up and kind of packages them away in your liver. That's what your liver stones are, or your gallstones are. And I've been seeing, they're not like stone size, but just weird flakes. I don't know what castor oil is pulling out of me, but there's always something new coming out of me. I don't know when this is when it's ever going to quit. Like, life is dirty. So I think I better wrap it up and get off of here. This is Nurse Tanya with Awakened Wellness. This was a group coaching session. I'm trying to get my clients more used to getting on here. so we can do more Q&A. But we're just in the getting organized phases, so I will save this recording. I will put it in the vault so it can be watched on replay. I'll keep it up on YouTube. I'm not going to keep them up on Facebook. I'm going to delete them probably by tomorrow. But if anybody turns in on the replay, I am so happy that you were here. And I'll try to catch up with the comments. You can get a hold of me, go to my link in bio. What else? Follow me on TikTok. I'm really trying to grow TikTok. I just don't do Instagram. I don't care for it and I don't have time to do everything. So I think I like TikTok because they're trying to take it down. I think there's a lot of truth tellers on TikTok that the powers that be don't want this truth getting out. So I like TikTok. Good night, everybody.